Well, hey everyone, it's me again. This is my third vlog, and I feel like three is the magic number. It seems like every time I make a vlog, it takes me 3 takes to actually get one that I'm happy with, so I'm hoping this is gonna be it, because this is the third vlog. I have some amazing updates that I've been meaning to do, but just haven't had time. And frankly, I feel a little weird doing vlogs, because I feel like my roommates probably think I'm talking to myself. Um, instead of like chronicling this whole journey and process and whatever, yeah. Anyway, um, the big update is that last week I got my letter for T, and I also had a meeting with an endocrinologist who approved me to start testosterone. It's happening a lot quicker than I imagined. I originally planned on starting in May. And I mean, that suddenly happened. I mean, I don't know. My blood work may come up, and I may not be able to go on T, or it may just come up where one of my other my best friend, who was also trans, ended up getting their first shot delayed weeks and weeks. So hopefully that's not going to happen. Anyway, I met with him, and he was great. And he just said, like, I see no reason why you can't start. We just need to run some blood work, get your baselines, make sure you're good, and then schedule an appointment 3 to 4 weeks, come back in, and if everything checks out, we'll get you your testosterone, and you may actually be able to start that morning. So, I may be starting testosterone on the 24th, which is crazy. I doubt it's going to happen on the 24th. They're incredibly busy there, and to try and get one of the nurses to do it is probably going to be hard to arrange. Realistically, it's probably going to be more like mid-April by the time they actually get around to it, because I have to actually schedule an appointment with the nurse to do it. And I do have a couple of friends who can give me the injection, and I'd love to do that, but it seems like, my doctor's pretty set on, you should come in for the first one, which I completely understand. I mean, I'm going to be doing this the rest of my life. I want to make sure I'm doing it right. So, it's pretty exciting. I kind of feel like my life is pretty crazy right now. I mean, I'm incredibly stressed out and pretty much emotionally exhausted constantly, but I've never felt more comfortable. And it's not that I'm comfortable with my body, but I'm becoming more comfortable with my future. I'm looking at things, and it's like, it's so freaky for me to think, like, okay, I'm gonna be a dad, I'm gonna be a husband, I'm gonna be an uncle, like, rethinking that stuff, just because it's crazy to think of the future for me right now anyway. But, I'm looking at the fact, like, everything's kind of falling into place. I'm surrounded by love and support right now. Like, I couldn't be any luckier than I am. My parents are behind me, my sister's behind me, my extended family's behind me, all my friends are behind me, my program's behind me, my job's behind me, like, not only behind me, but on all those fronts, everyone has been, like, not only accepting, but celebratory of it. Like, I'm just, like, waiting for the bad to happen. Like, I feel like I'm just waiting. Like, something bad's gonna happen soon. And I'm hoping it's just karma, because I did get my ass kicked for being gay a couple years ago, and got some pretty nasty, injuries from that. So I'm thinking maybe this is karma paying me back, I'm hoping. And hopefully karma won't come back and bite me in the ass for this going so well. Yeah, it's great. I mean, I guess it really reaffirmed that this is what I want to do. Not what I need to do. Once I got my letter, I mean, I cried. Having that letter in my hands, I was crying hysterically. I couldn't believe it. And then, getting approved and leaving the hospital with, like, a card in my hand saying the 24th, come in, and, like, you're gonna get your injection. It was just like, I mean, almost like tearing up even now, just thinking, like, this is what I've always wanted. And it's happening. So, I've never felt more fortunate, and also more crazy than I am right now. But I don't feel crazy because I'm trans. I feel crazy just because I'm taking 6 grad courses and working full time and trying to be at 22 at the same time. That's the only hard thing I'm facing right now, is just, I guess, somewhat unrelated to transitioning. Just my life right now is pretty hectic. I feel like I'm falling behind a lot of stuff, and I'm not doing that great at work, and some of it is transition related, because especially with my line of work where it's all about being there and being a social worker and, you know, being emotionally aware and blah blah blah, and I've definitely been more withdrawn the past couple of weeks because things have been so uncertain, and I've just been withdrawn, period. But it's starting to take an impact, but I think also it's just the stress of my thesis is looming over my head, and we're actually doing that soon, and that means that, like, we actually have to pull this shit off, and my classes, and it's looking at, like, I'm graduating in May with my master's, which means I have to find a job in this economy. And that does relate to me being trans, because I am definitely gearing my search around jobs to think, like, are you going to be accepting of me? Which is actually limiting it a little bit, which is terrifying for me. Another thing that's job related is, I started talking to my therapist about this a little bit. I've kept seeing this recurring theme whenever I would talk about why I didn't want to transition or why I didn't want to be out as trans, was because I was worried about employment. And part of that is because it's my dad's concerned about everything. Like, you got a piercing? Well, what's your future employer going to think of that? And what do you mean you want to ride a bike in SoCon? Like, everything comes back to a job with my dad. But the bigger thing is, I've worked so incredibly hard the past 5 years to make sure that I got the best grades, that I was involved in so many different clubs, that I had a solid resume and solid recommendations so that I could get my ideal job. And I'm realizing that, like, yes, my ideal job is GLBT, so hopefully that will happen. But it's also acknowledging the fact that there aren't many pro-homo, professional gay jobs out there. And they're pretty hard to come by. And they usually demand experience that I just don't have yet. So it's recognizing that in the next couple of years, I'm probably not going to have the ideal job, which is fine. But also, in order to get the ideal job, I need to get the experience, which means I have to have networking. Which means that my employers, colleagues, and everything need to be open to the fact that I'm trans. And I would hope in my field that that would be true. But it's not always true. And that with also clientele, it's not always true. So, I mean, there's a lot going on stress-wise, but I think, you know, at the end of the night, when I come back home and I'm laying in bed, and I'm looking to the future, it's like, I'm not stressed anymore, because I'm stressed in this moment for this moment. I'm stressed because I have my thesis due. I'm stressed because I have an exam the next day that I have to memorize, you know, an entire axis of DSM by Thursday, and I can't do that. I'm not stressed because, or upset because my future is not what I want. You know, I know that in a matter of months, I'm going to feel so much better just because of the slightest things. My voice dropped a little bit, or because I think that I have a better, like, more defined jawline. Whatever it is, I'm going to feel better. And it's not going to be perfect, and it's going to be a long-ass fucking road. And I'm ready for that. You know, I know it's not going to be easy. But I know that I'm going to be happier than I've ever been because of it. So, I'm pretty stoked. Yeah. I think that's about it. There's a lot of stuff going on, with other things that are unrelated. But other than that, I mean, things are pretty solid right now. So, I hope things are going as well for all you guys out there, and, yeah, take care. Oh, quickly, I want to do a shout out to the True Colors Conference, which is this weekend, the 12th and 13th in Connecticut at UConn. It's life-changing, and if you get the opportunity to go. It's $25, or free if you volunteer for 2 hours. So I really recommend that everyone gives it a shot, and hopefully I'll see you guys there. Peace.